little bit of a transfer roundup for you today. We got some Harry Maguire, we got some Brennan Johnson, we got some Lucas Paqueta. I'm not going to bother with Lucas Fabianski because Gio dealt with that very, very ably earlier on. What I would say is, though, by the way, after you've watched this video, go and check out Southampton's leaving tribute to James Ward-Prowse. It's a really good video, I got to say, and you know, you can't help but feel a bit good after you've watched it. You're not going to feel quite so good if you're a Southampton fan. Absolutely understand it. I think they're really sad to see their player go, and he seems like to be like a really, really good character. He does accents as well, does little impressions and stuff, which I think is really cool. Damn fine player, damn fine young man. Very, very pleased to have him at West Ham, actually. The more I see, the more I like. I think he'll be a really good addition. Sound character, and we certainly like that. Let's deal with Harry Maguire first, shall we? I think that's probably the most interesting one. Now, it's funny, actually. Do you remember yesterday I did the video, and it was back the Lingard video, so I spent most of the video ranting about Jesse Lingard, but there was some ranting room in there for Harry Maguire. And I said in the video, if it becomes too difficult, you just have to be prepared to walk away. And it appears that we have, and I think that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. I think the actual quote is, West Ham got tired of waiting. And do you know what? Good. And sometimes you can just push too hard. And I think Harry Maguire probably pushed too hard, made us wait for too long. We can't put our season on hold. Our season's already been on hold for far too long while we waited to get a lot of our transfer business done. We can't put it on hold any longer. And certainly, as the old adage goes, no one player is bigger than the club. Actually, Harry Maguire is acting in a way as if he is bigger than the club. Like, hold on, you guys wait over there whilst I sort out my stuff with Manchester United. Apparently, we had agreed personal terms with Maguire. The transfer fee as agreed with Manchester United was only about a loyalty payment. Now, look, call me old-fashioned. Why would you get a loyalty payment when you're leaving? Surely you get a loyalty payment once you've been loyal. Now, I do understand it's Manchester United that want him to leave. But also he wants to leave to play football as well. And the whole point is basically Harry Maguire is not good enough to get in the first team under Ten Hag. All right, I'm sure Harry Maguire is good enough to get in the first team under lots of different Manchester United managers. Maybe even the next Manchester United manager, he'd be good enough to get into the first team. But under Ten Hag, he ain't good enough. So he's not playing. So he's got a decision to make. I think it's a little bit crazy, actually, because he would... Oh, he's made for David Moyes, really. He'd be getting man of the match. I mean, he'd be coming. We defend so deep. Lack of pace wouldn't particularly be exposed. He would constantly be clearing crosses out of the box because, well, that's just how we play. We invite teams onto us to attack. So he would be able to shine. I mean, you wouldn't have known this unless you're a patron, but last season, Kurt Zouma won myself and Gio's. We both decided independently. We do our little. Where's my book gone? We do our player ratings. This is. Oh, it's upside down in mind there. That's this season's, which we do over on our Patreon channel. By the way, you want to go and join us on Patreon. It's our third Hammers Chat channel. It's patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Go and check it out. We got a nice rate. Look at this. Got a nice label on this new clobber we got. But Kurt Zouma was our man of the match. Man of the season. Hammer of the year. That's the one. And my point is, you get to thrive as a defender at West Ham. Harry Maguire could do a lot worse than join West Ham. But you know what? He doesn't want to. That's absolutely fine. He's going to stick around for an extra couple of pence. Well, it's not an extra couple of pence. It's apparently the payoff is 6 odd million. Manchester United are going to pay it, are reluctant to pay it because it might breach their financial fair play regulations. I honestly don't understand. I've got to say, though, Harry Maguire's probably not reading the room too well with Manchester United because they do not have a lot of money at the moment. Manchester United are not throwing money around like a lot of the other clubs are. You know, clearly the club is up for sale. The Glazers are spending as little as they can. And if he thinks this is the time to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, he's probably sorely mistaken. And they may be in a situation where they have to look at it and think, maybe we're actually better off just keeping him and just paying him his weekly wage. So whatever. Actually, I don't care. I don't care. Having watched that video that I spoke to you about at the start of this video, the James Ward-Prowse one that Southampton had compiled together, a really nice montage. Really good character, sound character, really good guy. He's going to be great in the squad. Do we need that sort of other level of toxicity and aloof I'm not sure if Harry Maguire may well rock up and just be one of the lads, not be aloof. But I suspect he does think he's a little bit better than West Ham, and if you listen to his statement where he was digging out he wasn't particularly digging out Ten Hag, but he was praising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So it was quite clear what he was indicating. He was hurt and wounded that he'd had the Man U captaincy taken off of him. I don't think I've ever seen that before, by the way. Players lose their captaincy, they really do, but they tend not to deal with it in the way that he did. I know this is an odd day to say that on because Fabianski's come out in the way that he has and spoken about him not getting selected for the first game against Bournemouth. But as I say, Gio dealt with that in the video earlier on this afternoon. In terms of the Lucas Paqueta deal, it does look as if Lucas Paqueta deal is imminent. Fabrizio Romano has said that he's absolutely certain. I can't remember the exact words. He can guarantee that Manchester City are going to come in and make a second official bid. Official. Now, what he's indicating by that is the first bid wasn't an official bid. It was a verbal one. And because Man City probably have some kind of idea on what West Ham are asking for, because the two clubs have been in dialogue for some time. Man City have gone away, they've taken the information from West Ham, and they're coming up with a bid that may well be today. So that's going to be really, really interesting. What was also speculated, I think, Jacob Steinberg has been tweeting about West Ham. I can't actually read that though, so I'm not quite as clear on that because I'm blocked by Jacob Steinberg. So which is a bit of a badge of honour, really. I've got nothing against him. I really like him. I don't know why I'm blocked. But anyway, so I rely on other people screenshotting his Twitter feed. I get to see it anyway. It's a futile exercise. It really is. And then I haven't been blocked from going to read the newspaper. Haven't blocked me from buying the newspaper either. Funny enough, they're quite happy to have the money. Just anyway. To be fair, I haven't gone out and bought the newspaper. But anyway, my point is Jacob Steinberg has been tweeting about West Ham, and he normally gets an awful lot of things right. And he's also he's been talking about Harry Maguire stuff. I think he's been talking about the Lucas Paqueta stuff as well. But what has been the talk of the day as well is that West Ham may be interested in Brennan Johnson. Now, Brennan Johnson, of course, is the forward. He's a winger, really, isn't he? But he's the one he seemed to have created a lovely partnership with Morgan Gibbs-White, which makes it really funny, doesn't it? Because I was speaking yesterday and the day before about Morgan Gibbs-White, who is the player I would probably like to replace Paqueta more than anyone, or Paqueta, sorry. So it was quite interesting to see Brennan Johnson come up. Now, I've got nothing bad to say about Brennan Johnson. I think he's a really, really good player. But he's not a Paqueta replacement. Gibbs-White, stat guy. I'd love to get both of them. I mean, could you? I don't know. Now, when I mentioned Gibbs-White the other day, there were a couple of people who said, is he for sale? Okay, well, firstly, I don't think anyone in particular, very few people are for sale. You just go and you make a bid anyway. What I do know is you've got to be careful what you say. Let me put it this way. I don't think the Nottingham Forest ownership is in the same position of strength that they were last season. Let's leave it at that. So it might well be worth a bid. It might well be worth a bid for some of their players and sort of test the water with it. I'd be very happy to bring in Brennan Johnson. I really would. I think he's an excellent player. I think he'd be excellent for West Ham. Really, really good. Absolutely superb player. I think for the moment, just sort of looking through the news stories here, that's probably going to do it because I do expect things to change. Whether they'll change today is unknown. Might be nice to have a little bit of a day away from some of these crazy stories, but we do need to bring players in. What I would say is, going back to yesterday's video when I spoke about Mohamed Kudus, he was lots of people like this guy. Lots of people. The comments were brilliant, and it was an education for me because I knew little about him before a month ago, if I'm absolutely honest about it. So that was really, really interesting to see that. I mentioned that Brighton were interested. I also mentioned that Arsenal were interested. I think in the last 24 hours it appears that Brighton might have pulled out of the race, but Arsenal may well still be in for the player. So that will be really interesting. But certainly it's really interesting when you do these transfer update videos. You can really gauge in the comments what people are thinking and about specific players. It's very, very interesting to hear what people say about them. And sometimes it's a mixed bag. Sometimes some positive, some negative. I think by and large, all of the responses were positive towards this kid from Ajax. So, yeah, that could be really good. Sort of good endorsement. Hey, who needs a scouting system? We got one here at Hammers Chat, and it's all you guys telling me whether a player's any good or not. And I think unequivocally, you've all said that it's a resounding yes for Mohamed Kudus. I don't know, is it Kudus? I don't know. Look, I guess we'll find out. If he signs, we'll find out. Even if he does sign, I will still be here a year later, like I am with Paqueta, still not knowing how to pronounce the name. But hey, I guess it doesn't really matter with Paqueta, does it? He's about to leave, just as I'm getting his name right. I will be back tomorrow, I'd imagine. Can't imagine too much else happening tonight. So whatever you're going to get up to for the rest of the evening, hopefully it's not just pressing refresh on your West Ham social media. Hey, take a night off, something like that. Go and watch something naughty. I was going to say watch something naughty. Watch something naughty on Netflix. But if you're going to watch something naughty, let's be fair, you'd probably use a different app.